16 years later, we have an empire of real estate that we own with our partners. That has obviously given us a lifestyle and freedom. People say, "Why'd you do it?" I wanted freedom.
Yeah.
I wanted obviously financial freedom, but more so, I wanted to live life on my terms.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Adrian Pannozzo, is the CEO and founder of Generational Wealth, Inc. He was a police officer for 22 years before retiring in 2017. He has 15 plus years in multifamily real estate, starting from working with triplexes and now having scaled aggressively into the apartment building space. Welcome to the show, Adrian.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dylan. Excited to be here.
It's great to have you on here. And when we talk multifamily real estate investing, there's a lot of people, I think, especially right now, who are looking at getting into this space, especially in the States where there's really quite a bit of new construction. So it's harder to do some strategies like fix and flip. How did you get started in multifamily investing?
Yeah, so for me, it was about 16 years ago when I first embarked on my journey. Um, at that time, I was a police officer um, in Ontario, Canada. Um, um, Most people have heard of Toronto, whether they're American or not. But nevertheless, yeah, so I'm probably 11 years into my police career, and the light bulb went off, and it was kind of like, okay, after I put in my 30 years on the job, so to speak, what, and I'm on my pension, my police pension, what kind of lifestyle do I want to have? Because I'm going to be obviously on a reduced income being on pension. Um, so I started thinking, okay, real estate investing. And at that time, my wife and I didn't have a lot of money at all. But what we did have was equity in our principal residence. So in speaking to a mortgage broker, he kind of made it live to me and kind of painted a picture. And he said, you have this equity in your home, several $100,000 equity in your home. Like, what are you doing with that? And I said, back then, I didn't even know what equity meant, to be honest with you. So long ago. But nevertheless, he's like, let's get you a home equity line of credit, pull out that equity and use that equity to obviously buy rental properties. So essentially, that's how it started for me, again, 16 years ago. I believe my wife and I started with I want to say it was $200,000 line of credit on our house. And we used that line of credit essentially to buy and start investing in real estate. So we leveraged the only money we had in our principal residence to start real estate investing. All the while, I was a young father, police, police officer, et cetera, et cetera. So but I had a vision and I wanted to create some kind of cash flow.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So I have that
Right.
cash flow, maybe 2 properties, 3 properties, maybe, create that cash flow. So when I retire, I still have on top of my pension, some cash flow coming in.
Sure.
So that's kind of how it all started. The light bulb went off, pulled the equity out of the house, line of credit, used the line of credit to invest in rental properties. Fast forward, I guess, that went well. The initial investments went well. We then refinanced the initial first several properties we bought, pulled the equity out of those rental properties, bought a couple more. Ultimately, still a police officer. My wife worked full time. We had a young family. So yeah, we were really busy. There was lots on the go. I took care of the properties myself. I managed them. I dealt with the tenants. I did everything, et cetera, et cetera. All the while working shift work on the police department, et cetera, et cetera. So they went well. Those initial investments, I want to say the first 4 rental properties we purchased were just using our own lines of credit and refinances. It was probably after the 4th one that we started to partner, joint venture partnerships with some like-minded investors. We started to build a little bit of a reputation, and friends and family and colleagues build a bit of a reputation on, investing in multifamily real estate in the west end of GTA.
How did you get started in specifically picking, multifamily? Did you have mentors or folks who you knew who were investing in multifamily? Was this a referral from the broker that you mentioned? How'd you pick multifamily?
Yeah, great question. So multifamily, it was kind of, I guess, a referral from the broker I was working with too. And he kind of painted the picture of, instead of buying a single family home and renting it out, if you have 2, 3, 4 units, for example, there's a little bit of a buffer there, because if one tenant leaves, you still have a couple other tenants in there to cover your mortgage and expenses on that said property. So kind of made sense, as opposed to buying just, a single family residence and having one tenant, and that tenant vacates. If you don't fill that vacancy right away, you're pretty much paying into from your own pocket.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that kind of was the thought process. And it made a lot of sense to me to have that cushion with like 2, 3, 4 units, 2, 3, 4 tenants in one building, to cover that off. So we
Now,
went down that path with multifamily as opposed to single family. And over the years, continued to partner with other investors who wanted us to be the sweat equity guys. Essentially, they were pretty high profile people, entrepreneurs, very successful people who essentially, you know, wanted to put their money in multifamily real estate, but they didn't want to do a thing.
sure.
They don't want to deal with tenants and toilets and construction or whatever else comes with it. They just want to see the return on investment. So that continued to grow, again, still on the police department. And we started buying, like I mentioned, triplexes and fourplexes and so on. And as the years went by, um, we continued to scale into bigger multifamily products, buildings. now we're encroaching on, 10 units, 20 units. And we started to focus on bigger investments, which ultimately produced more cash flow than the smaller guys and more security than the smaller guys.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And, here in Canada, the financing that we're able to achieve with larger buildings is actually more attractive and better terms, better rates than your typical triplex. So if I'm buying a 20-unit building, I'm getting better rates and better terms on that commercial mortgage here in Canada than the residential mortgage. So we started to scale in size as well. And again, did well attracting joint venture partnerships overall, which
Now,
ultimately led me to retire from the police department early after 22 years of service. And I moved up in the ranks there overall. Great career, by the way. I had a lot of fun and got to see and do a lot of different things. But yeah, after 22 years, I threw in the towel. We essentially created enough cash flow through our rental properties that we owned with our partners to mimic what I was making on the police department, so we could pay the bills and survive. So that led me to retire early. And then, the light bulb went off and it was kind of like, if I can focus strictly on real estate investing and continue to grow this portfolio and continue to attract joint venture partners, I could really explode this real estate investing angle, because now I don't have the police department kind of having to focus on that, and this I could just focus on growing our business and our portfolio. So in 2017, 2018, I retired early, and then I just focused full time on growing the business and growing the portfolio with partners. And essentially, I'll fast forward to the end of the story. Essentially what we created, what I wanted to create was Costco for real estate investors. I wanted to create an ecosystem where we have everything under one roof. So the acquisition side of stuff, we have a team that goes out and looks for all kinds of deals for us, on market, off market, private sales. We have a team dedicated to that in-house. We have our own construction company now in-house, because we transitioned from buying, over the last 3 years, we've transitioned from buying, I call them vintage buildings. So already built buildings come with existing tenants. We transitioned over the last 3 years, and we're building apartment buildings now, ground up. So we established our own construction company in-house. And then lastly, we established our own in-house property management company. So essentially, from step one right to the day the tenants get the keys, it's all our group of companies. It's all in-house. Our investors just deal with us and only us. There is no, Luigi or Giuseppe, who's, a third party involved. It's just myself, my team, my group of companies. So essentially created like a Costco full service operation for people who want to invest in multifamily real estate in Ontario, Canada, and not have to deal with anything other than get the returns on their capital. And 16 years later, here we are today. We now own almost 90 buildings and about 620 units across the different cities in Ontario, Canada. which is obviously something I never, if you asked me
Sure.
16 years
Sure.
ago, it started out with, I want to own 1 or 2 rental properties to subsidize my pension.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
16 years later, we have an empire of real estate that we own with our partners. That has obviously given us a lifestyle and freedom. People say, "Why'd you do it?" I wanted freedom. I wanted obviously financial freedom, but more so, I wanted to live life on my terms. And if I want to take off tomorrow and spend a month down in Italy or wherever, I could do that. And I can work from anywhere in the world. I just need my laptop and my phone.
That's right.
And I conduct my business anywhere, and I have the team here, boots on the ground, to do that. So I really did it all for freedom. And if real estate investing can give you that type of freedom overall, because it's an avenue where you're creating cash flow, and you're essentially, I like to say, you're making money while you sleep, because your properties are continuing to grow in equity year after year after year. And we all know, I'll end it off and then I'll pass the mic to you. We all know, and historically, the longer you hold real estate for, you can't lose.
True.
Historically, obviously, the longer the hold, the more you can gain eventually 10, 15, 20 years down the road when you do actually cash in and sell that asset. But we're more long-term wealth kind of investors that we work with, generational wealth, long-term wealth. We don't fix and flip. We're long-term hold, long-term wealth, I guess, model that we live and work by. So that's it. That's my story.
You mentioned the ability to be vertically integrated and really having everything in-house, right? One of the bottlenecks that I see for multifamily investors specifically is property management. And so, when you're taking over a property and they may have existing property management in place and you're having to find new property management, that whole process can be challenging, especially if you're in a market where there may be a lot of competition or maybe even new multifamily developments, new housing, and, people are having to fill, vacancies. You have to have that property really on lock, and how critical that really is. When you were building out the property management arm of it, did you face any specific challenges in property management that maybe were unforeseen, or that you saw, okay, well, there's more here than meets the eye?
So while I was a police officer, I managed, like I mentioned, I managed all my properties myself. So I actually I was in the trenches myself and learned the business and dealing with tenants and toilets and leasing and missed payments and et cetera, and everything that comes with property management. I did it myself for years before eventually I started our property management company. So I've been there and I've witnessed it and I've dealt with it. So again, for my investors, the goal was to have everything in-house and deal with just our properties that we invest in together, and provide that white glove service to my investing partners overall, where they have the peace of mind that Adrian's team in-house is dealing with everything. So we're obviously owners of the property along with our partners. So we give that white glove service to the properties on that property management aspect.
Are these
So there wasn't a whole big surprise or learning curve for me, essentially.
You'd already been there in the trenches.
I've been there, done it.
Are these typically, 5 to 7 year holds? I see that common in multifamily. I've seen people, hit pro formas faster than that. Or are these longer term horizons?
I'd say on average, they're at least minimum of five. But again, our property's cash flow. So there's really no need to cash in after 5, although we do have the option to do that. But I'd say closer to 10 really is the sweet spot for us. Overall, again, I find before 10, you may be leaving some money on the table, obviously, but closer to 10 years is our sweet spot to hold the properties for.
We are coming up on time here, actually, Adrian. Any new projects that you're working on, and then as well, what's the best way for folks to reach out to your team?
Yeah, so we locked up 9 new sites that we're going to be building, 9 new apartment buildings. We locked up these sites in 2025. So we're breaking ground this summer. We're just waiting on our permits from the city, and we're breaking ground this summer. So this summer, we're shovels in the ground on 9 separate apartment building sites. So it's going to be a busy summer. Super excited about that. Our goal for 2026 is to replicate our success in 2025, and match those numbers. So we're definitely busy. We got a lot on the go, and yeah, as far as connecting with us, we're all over social media. So our company's Generational Wealth Creators, Generational Wealth Inc. Obviously, if you go to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, punch in my name there on the screen. Or like I said, go to the social media sites and punch in Generational Wealth Inc. You can find us everywhere for sure.
Adrian, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.